Imagine getting to a point where you don't have to put in any energy or effort for a first date to go well. Without even trying, you hit it off with this girl and you leave her craving for a second date to see you. Well, no need to imagine, because I have the user manual for what goes into making an incredible first date. So guys, in the start of my dating life, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was winging it. I was overthinking every single part of it. I would literally think of stories ahead of time about my day or something in my week that I would intentionally tell the date, like when I picked them up or first met up with them. And even when the date, it really went well, it was still exhausting because my headspace the entire week was crowded with like putting all this energy into making sure this date goes really well. And now, hundreds of first dates later, it's at the point where it's fully automatic, every single date going well. I truly am no longer familiar with the concept of what like an awkward first date is. And even if I'm not totally compatible with the woman, like a few minutes in, like I know this could never work long term, I still make it a wonderful time for the both of us and make sure, it was just time well spent. So the perfect date, there's going to be 5 pillars that go into this. And those 5 are asking for the date, picking a spot, the etiquette of the date and like the day of, what your behavior is, the conversation on the date, and how do you close it out to ensure it's on a high moment and you two are craving to see each other again. And throughout these 5 pillars, there's going to be 3 themes that are constant in all of them. And those 3 themes are creating comfort, creating connection, and you leading in your masculine role throughout all of those pillars. Pillar number 1, asking for the dates. The first thing I want to say is, listen, if this girl is single and she is responding to you at all, just in any bit, you can assume there is some interest on the table. Like, don't be so quick to count yourself out and put yourself down. If she is engaging with you to some degree, there's interest on the table. Next, before you actually go out on a date with someone, there really should be some sort of like initial engagement. You call it a pre-date of some sort. And this pre-date only applies if it's someone that you've never actually met before. Like you two haven't had like an intimate conversation ever. Perhaps it's someone from like Instagram DMs, a dating app, maybe like set up by a friend, anything of that nature. And the beauty of this is just to get the surface level awkwardness out of the way. You take this opportunity to learn enough about each other, maybe develop some sort of inside joke or just a couple fun facts about the person before going into the date, so you already have some things to work with before you even walk inside. It's a really good chance for you to just mentally size each other up and say, okay, I'm willing to go out with this person. Sure. And typically how you get this pre-date done is just like call them, FaceTime them, just talk to them for a few minutes. If you don't know how to really get that conversation started, you could say, let's call and like, we'll talk about making some plans together. If you meet them on a dating app, this is something I've done many times. Ask them to FaceTime before you even consider going out with them, because you want to make sure they're not catfishing you. You want to make sure, they actually look like their photos. You say that in a funny, playful way. It absolutely makes sense. And it shows you have a standard. You don't just go out with anybody. You want to make sure they got a nice vibe. You can hear their voice. You can see their face. And once again, because on a phone call, FaceTime, you could see someone's face and the way they move around and the way they talk. It really gives you an opportunity to just size them up and get a better idea of what you're walking into. So now when you actually ask her out for the date, the verbiage you use, the words you communicate to get her to say yes. First thing you want to avoid is just a massive open-ended statement like, oh, hey, so are you free this week? That's not masculine. That's not comfortable for her. Let her know what works for you. You can say, hey, I could do Friday night or I could do Saturday during the day. When you lay it onto her like that, it's so easy for her to say yes. Okay, I can do Friday night, versus, oh, am I free this week? I don't know. Well, I have this going on, that going on. How long, when is he free? Like this is so confusing. You're putting the masculine role on her to figure out the logistics if you say, when are you free this week? So for that reason, just give her 2 options to pick from. And if you're worried about her being busy during both those dates, listen, man, if she wants to see you, she'll say, I'm busy those days, but I could do Sunday. And then you go Sunday. It's that simple. Now, the second part about asking them for the date is don't be so needy as if like you're below them and there's some person that has authority over you. Like, don't give the energy of, oh, would you please like to join me out for a steak dinner this Friday? Like, that means it seems like you don't even trust yourself. It seems like you don't think you're high value. It seems like you don't believe that you are a great opportunity for this woman to come out and meet. If you want to be this chivalrous gentleman, and this is much more important with just either more mature girls or girls that are just a bit older and more experienced, you should say something along the lines of, hey, it's been nice talking to you. I'd love to see you this week. How does Friday night or Saturday during the day work for you? That's it. Just make it so easy for her to respond, because what her brain receives out of that is, he's had a nice time talking to me. I think I've had a nice time talking to him too. Yeah, we should meet. Saturday. You've just made it so easy for her. Now, if you're more on the younger side, let's say 18 to 23 years old, your statement could be a little bit more on the casual side. You could say something like, hey, this new sushi spot just opened up. I want you to come with me. Can you go Friday or Saturday? Or maybe if there's like this trending place on Instagram, like an art exhibit or something in your city that's going on, you could say something along the lines of, hey, I've been craving to go to this place. You should come with me. Does Friday or Saturday work for you? Don't let yourself get caught up about, is this going to be a place she likes? Dude, she wants you to lead. When you lead, you embody your masculinity. When you embody your masculinity, you make her comfortable. So to sum this up, I want to say this. You're not asking for the date. You're asking for her company to join you on the date. When you realize the separation between those two things, it takes a bit of the pressure off of, how do I say it? Or what should I say to her? Odds are you're thinking about the whole alphabet A to Z, and ABC is all she needs to hear to say, yep, sounds great. I'll see you then. That is how you lead. That is how you make it easy for her to say yes.